Here I'm going to create WebPage07. So I'm going to start by duplicating my WebPage6, which on the Mac is duplicate. You can do copy paste on Windows. You probably already know this by now. And now I'm going to rename this to WebPage7. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. And I am going to steal the code from the responsive page after I open this up with BBEdit, my text editor. And here's my Kirk's sample responsive design page. And I'm going to view the source and select all, copy, go over into my BBEdit window, select all, paste. This will give me a good starting point. And I see that I need the responsive page.css also. And it is right here, still from the view source. And I'm going to select all, copy that. And I'll tell you what, I'll just duplicate this page because it really doesn't matter what it is. I just need a new page. And I'm going to rename that to webpage7.css. And I'm going to edit that with BBEdit. And just to make sure I've got this, I'm going to copy my source code from the responsive page to my WebPage7 CSS. Select all and paste over top of it. And look at all this stuff I have. I'm going to save that. And I'm going to save this. And I'm going to check it. So I think I'm done with these pages. And this is WebPage07.html. And lo and behold, it looks just like the other one. So it works. Now let's work on the, let's get rid of some stuff first. So I don't really need any of this stuff. Plain old text. I'm just going to get rid of all that. And then I'll call this Kirk's WebPage07. And then this can be doc type. Doesn't have to be all caps. That's crazy. And then I don't care about my styling up here. And then this should be WebPage7 because that's what I named it. WebPage7.css. And it's not really necessary to call it type text CSS type anymore. And let's do Kirk's WebPage07. And now we're going to try it. And there it is. Now with responsive design, part of the assignment is to apply changing background colors when the window is resized by sealing my code. So what that means is when you change this page, you'll see that the colors change. And I'm going to change my colors. Let's change that to red. I'll do shorthand for red. And I don't care about hover at this point. And I'm going to change this one to shorthand for blue. And I'm going to change this one to shorthand for green. And then this one's going to be shorthand for a reddish kind of color. And then this one's going to be shorthand for a bluish kind of color. And I don't need any of that stuff. Yep. And let's make this one a shorthand for a greenish kind of color. Now, sometimes we need to kind of tell the CSS document that it changed in case there's caching going on. So I'm going to add a question mark 1 and save it. And then reload this page over here. And look at that. So that's showing you that CSS changes. That's my changing background colors by dragging the width of the page. Okay, so typically you aren't going to want something quite that obnoxious, but that'll do for the moment. Let's go ahead and work on the next part. Which is adding 3 images of yourself with unique names of unique ID 04, 05, and 06. So I've got some images in my downloads folder. And I'm going to use an image editor called Preview to edit those. You can use Adobe Photoshop or whatever you like. And let's check and see what it needs to be. The dimensions need to be 1000 by 315. You need to be the only person in the picture. You can have animals or you can have people blurred out. That's okay. And then the photos need to be named properly. Okay, so I am going to resize this first to 1000 pixels wide, and you can see it's 750 pixels tall. And now I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to crop it, and you can see it's 1000 pixels wide by 315. And I'll do Command K to crop in this application, and now I'm going to save that to my local machine. Actually, I'm going to export it to my local machine, and I'm going to call that hopkinks_04, and it needs to be in JPEG format, and it's only going to be 79K, which is teeny tiny, and I'll just save that to my downloads. Now I need to do this with 2 other images. And I'm going to delete my original because I don't need that anymore. I don't want to be confused. So I'll open that one up. Tools, adjust size, 1000 pixels wide, but I don't care how tall. I'm going to zoom in again. And this needs to be 315 wide. And Command K to crop it. Export. This is going to be hopkinks05. Change that to a JPEG. And I can close that one. And you can see this is 1 megabyte right there. It's Tools, adjust size, 1000. Zoom in a little bit, just because it makes it easier to edit. 315. And Command K to crop it. Export. I'm going to make that Hopkins 06. And I'm going to nuke the original. Oh, I wanted to mention, so the original was 1 megabyte, and now the new copy is 62 kilobytes, so it's very much smaller. Now I need to get that on my website, so I'm going to do a new folder, and I'm going to call that WebPage07 images. And then I'm going to move my images into that folder, copy them over. Alright, now I see I've had a naming convention where I did underscore images on previous projects. So I'm going to go ahead and add my underscore in here. So that'll be called WebPage07 images. And now it's time to link my code to those pages. So we're done with the CSS for now. And I'm going to do an image source equals WebPage07 underscore images, and then Hopkins04 .jpg. Now let's see what that looks like. Hey, look at that. There's my picture. Now I just need to duplicate that and have 05 and 06. And they're all there. They don't look super great, I mean, as far as the formatting goes. So I'm just going to put in a couple breaks. That looks pretty good. Let's do one more. Tell you what, instead of breaks, I'm going to do a div. Style equals display block. Oh, sorry about that. And padding of 2M. And let's see what that looks like. Oh, I almost forgot to close my divs. That looks better. Oh no. So now you can see that my background is responsive, but not my images. So let's make the images responsive, and we could do that right here in line. or we can do it on our external style sheet, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to get rid of a bunch of junk up here that is not necessary. And I'm going to add an image tag. A type selector, actually. Just by putting width of 100% in there, that should make it respond to changing the size of the page, the width of it. So I changed that number so that it forces a reload. And now my images change right there. Pretty cool, huh? Let's do one more little thing here. And that is to change the color of the body to always be white. So now the color of the text should always be white. And I'm going to make this color blue. So by default it'll be blue. Not sure why it's white way up there. One of these must be a little too white. So let's make that more of a blue color. And I'm going to change this to a 3 to force a reload. And it's still white. It's really big. I'm not sure why. Oh, because I set the color to that whitish color, not the background. I'll save that. Change this to a 4. Tell you what, I'm going to change that to a header. Check my page. Look at that. Now it's blue.